I think that Terra Luna collapse is going to be good for the industry. It's going to accelerate good regulation. Not all regulation is bad regulation. If you go to CoinMarketCap, there's 19,500 cryptos out there, and there's massive confusion. And a shakeout in the industry would be advantageous because the average mere mortal doesn't have time to study 19,500 cryptocurrencies. And there is a bona fide large demand for stablecoin that's safe and transparent. And it's been difficult for legitimate institutions like Caitlin's Bank to issue those stable coins because there's been a regulatory deadlock in DC. Like, people know they need to do something, but there was no urgency to do it. And I think now this is front and center at Treasury and in the administration and in Congress. And I expect that whatever kind of clarity was going to come is going to come faster because now there's a reason to accelerate the pace. And I mean, some people think like BitCoin benefits from anarchy or lack of regulation. That's not true. In fact, I think Ken Griffin said this last week, the CEO of Citadel. He said the entire industry deserves clarity. We need to understand what's a security. We need to understand what's a currency. We need to understand what's a commodity. And if the SEC does this or gets together with the CFTC and issues some guidance, tier one firms like his, Citadel, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, they can all start to get involved. And then what we'd like to see is everybody want to play in the industry. Big investors bring money into the industry. And then the banks, you might have seen David Solomon was on CNBC a couple of days ago, and they asked him, do you custody Bitcoin or crypto? And he said, no, we can't. Okay, well, can you as a bank custody it? Can you not as a bank custody it? When I talk to the CEOs of publicly traded FDIC insured banks, they go, oh, we can't issue stablecoin. Our regulator won't let us. So at the point that there's more clarity, I think the banks will get involved, the investors will get involved, lots of people will get involved, and of course the bad actors and malicious scammers will get squeezed out of the industry because not all these things are alike. They are very different. And the general retail population, they don't have a choice between taking a stable coin from a bank or a stable coin from an organization that, ETFs disclose their holdings every day, right? And how about every week, every month, every year? Right now, 70% of the stable coin in the market, there's no disclosure, even in a year, of precisely what's backing it. So the market wants $1 trillion worth of this stuff. Everybody wants it. I can't get it. And the banks that could provide it aren't allowed to offer it. And so we're kind of in this kind of deadlock. And if it took the Terra Luna blow up in order to unstick that, I mean, it's bad for them, but it will ultimately result in an industry that's more mature and more functional.
A few weeks ago, a stablecoin called Terra USD and its sister currency Luna dropped about 99.9%, rattling the broader crypto market, including tokens like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Terra Luna is now totally worthless. This has created fear among investors. Even aggressive, bullish crypto investors are now panicking. On 7th of May, UST pegged against the US dollar started falling on all crypto platforms across the globe. On 9th of May, its value fell to 35 cents after a massive sell-off. Despite this, Michael Saylor has a strong belief in Bitcoin. He sees it as the way of the future, preferring it over gold and silver as a source of wealth storage. In a world with many uncertainties, he sees it as the most secure asset.
And the first order challenge is that the current accounting is toxic and prejudicial, right? It's indefinite intangible accounting, which means if you buy it, you can only mark it down. You can never mark it up forever. And the toxicity then, it obscures your balance sheet, but it also filters into your P&L. So that's kept most conservative CFOs from wanting to pursue it. FASB's got a project to review the accounting for digital assets. So I think if FASB actually implements anything looking more like fair value accounting, that would be a big auspicious thing. I think after that, the second order issues are if the SEC approves a spot ETF, If Treasury or someone gives FDIC banks or any kind of chartered bank, a state chartered bank like Caitlin's Bank, the ability to issue a stable coin, that'll accelerate the industry. I think if the SEC regulates the crypto exchanges as national securities exchanges, that will actually accelerate corporate adoption. I think if they mandate full and fair disclosure for all the unregistered securities that are trading in the crypto industry, like the Lunas and the Terras just melted down, that'll shake out all of the garbage. That will accelerate a flight to quality. And to Ken Griffin's point, there's just a lot of public institutional investors that they won't touch it because it's like you're slimed by association with the garbage. Right? Bitcoin is backed by $20 billion worth of semiconductors and hardware and energy. And then, yo-yo coin number 97 was ginned up in the basement of some dude in some place. And so if you're a mainstream investor, the Charlie Mungers and the Warren Buffetts of the world, they're not going to dig into this. They're just going to read something and they come to a very quick conclusion. And like it or not, people with less knowledge than you have more money than you. And the market is dominated by them. So you want to see more corporate adoption, right? You need the FDIC, the Fed, Treasury, the SEC, CFTC, they all need to move forward. FASB has a big role to play. And the good news here is everything I just named is highly predictable. It will happen. It's just a question of does it happen in 6 months, 36 months.
According to the billionaire CEO of the #1 publicly traded company that owns Bitcoin, the recent fall is favorable for Bitcoin. With investors all around the world panicking, one of the most painful investors is infamous Bitcoin bull Michael Saylor, who has now lost billions on his significant Bitcoin stake. He does, however, feel that now is not the time to sell Bitcoin and that those who do so now will come to regret it later. Even as the larger market plummets to levels not seen since early 2021, Michael views Bitcoin as the answer to many problems surrounding decentralized finance. According to the Bitcoin advocate, Bitcoin will play a critical part in the world's future growth.
So this is digital energy, right? This is the ability to project power in cyberspace. And it's the consequence of the US is similar, Do you want to have the most cyber power and the most space power and the most air power and the most nuclear power, or do you not? And how do you do it? You mine it, you own it, and then you build the banking operation, right? What you've got is a bunch of energy. You want to move it at the speed of light. You want to borrow against it. You want to lend against it. You want to transfer it. You want to create more of it. You want to upgrade it with layer 2 and layer 3 applications. And the reason that this is a no-brainer for America is because ultimately it's American companies and American investors and American banks that are in the best position to harness and take advantage of this.
Michael Saylor has informed investors that the latest drop is a good thing that would help Bitcoin. Michael stated that Bitcoin is winning for cryptocurrency investors since it has beaten many other assets. Yes, the best thing for crypto investors to do right now is to wait. We've come to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for more.